Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are here sharing their insights and wisdom so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, and I'm excited that you're here. If this is your first time listening to us on this podcast, welcome. Justin and I, my guests, are excited to be your first experience on the show. And please stay to the end because I have a special gift for you that we want to give you for being here and listening to us today. But without further ado, I have an amazing guest. He's all the way from South Africa. I told you, we bring in people from all over the world. And we're both ready to have some fun today and dive into business growth with you. So without further ado, welcome Justin Solms with Index Solutions to the podcast. Justin, I'm excited to have you here and talk with you today.
I'm excited to be here.
So Justin, can you kick us off and tell us a little bit about you, Index Solutions, and your role within it?
Right. So I'm an electronic engineer, not the kind of person you'd think would be managing assets in a portfolio or investment management company. So how I got there is I started off in the 90s in the arms industry, specifically aerospace and weapon guidance. There, I performed a lot of high-tech work, very numerical, software-intensive work, and it has to be quite precise, precision-based, and it's mission-critical as well. Stuff cannot fail. So the arms industry fell apart eventually due to political developments in our country. And I found myself looking for work, not because I'd lost my job, but I could see that soon down the line they would close this company. Nonetheless, I got an interview from somebody, a chap called Andrew Bevan, who just sat down with me, found out about me, and we had a 20-minute chat. And straight out, I had a job as a founding member in a new company called Peregrine Quant, which was South Africa's first quantitative investment company. Well, one thing led to another, and eventually found myself in the carbon credit industry. We were going to launch a hedge fund, but in 2008, the crash came, and of course, everyone just walked away. So I thought, for all that stress and all the effort that I've put into building things for other people and making other people wealthy, I will now do this for myself. And that stress, if I do stress, and let me tell you, running your own business is stressful, that's going to be for me. We do have shareholders. The investment company was started 13 years ago. We started managing assets, and so far, the investment strategy that I designed and put together has turned out to be very successful. We beat all the traditional benchmarks. We beat a lot of the top asset managers, and we are a heck of a lot cheaper. And we don't have large teams of, well, call them analysts. Instead, we have a very powerful computer and some algorithms, and this does pretty much everything. And we do it in a much shorter time, a much lower cost, and that's why we can offer such low fees, and that's why we beat other managers and our benchmarks.
Well, thank you for sharing that in your background and your story. And I love that you brought your journey into it, because every place that we're at in our world, like today, came from our journey of where we were before. And you were in the engineering space. Like how you got into finance is just intriguing to me, because again, every step along the way brings us to where we are now, and you're obviously a perfect example of that. And I talk about that a lot on this podcast and in general, because we never know where we're going to end up, right? I have two kids, they're teenagers, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, my daughter stresses out. She's like, all the kids know where they're going to. I'm like, you're a junior in high school, you're 16, and she's like, everybody knows what they want to be, and I'm like, no, they don't. They might say they do. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I am not doing that today. Like, that's not where I ended up. So thank you for sharing that, because where you were and where you are now, and you wouldn't be where you are now if it wasn't for where you started, right? And allowing yourself to say yes to those doors opening. So can you tell us, Index Solutions, tell us more about the company, what you all do, and who do you serve? Who are your clients? So if we have people listening right now going, okay, finance space, I know I need some help in that arena. Am I the right fit? So who are those people, or who are those companies?
Well, let me start first with the people that we serve. So we serve the lay investor. Nobody fancy, just the ordinary Joe in the street who has got not necessarily a lot of money to invest. So we've got low starting amounts. You can come in at 300 South African rands per month, or you can put in as much as you like. So we try to democratize investment, access to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and also to the global investment space. So we've got a global portfolio, a pension savings portfolio, and also a preservation fund. So how we actually manage this is that we use exchange traded funds, and because these things are secure, and we don't keep clients' money, we keep money in the escrow, so it makes it very safe to invest with us. and we manage the money, and the clients come to the iTransact platform. They invest over there on the platform, and that vehicle we manage for the client. And because it's so difficult for clients to go out there and choose exchange traded funds, I mean, there are hundreds of these things. And which ones do you pick? And it's our strategy, in fact, all the numerical and analytical techniques that we use are geared towards selecting just the best ETFs for the client to suit their risk profile and their investment goals. So the brokers can go and sell this stuff with confidence at a low cost. So we're not ripping the guys off with big fees and stuff, as some of the bigger managers do, keeping costs low. And we're making sure that it's easy to access this market.
So I would be an example of, because I know nothing about investing. So this would be
we'll sign you up tomorrow.
Yeah. So you work with beginners. You're great for beginners because you can help guide someone and walk them through the process.
So we don't walk people through the process. The investment platform is the retail platform. So imagine I'm a factory. I make stuff, and then I would sell this stuff essentially, or give it to a platform who would then retail it to the retail market.
Okay.
Yes, because it would be very difficult for me to handle the thousands of clients that we have. That would just be impossible. So this is what the investment platform does, because there's all kinds of laws. People come invest with us. We've got to do checkups on their background and all that sort of thing to make sure they're basically anti-terrorist financing and money laundering rules, strict rules. And these things have to be adhered to. And that's why it's better that clients come in through an investment platform. So we either have brokers, and a broker would come and see you at your home, and they chat about your finances and your goals, and they might recommend, amongst other products, one of my products as well for you to invest in. Yes, and it's actually quite a simple process.
Perfect. So I'd like to, Justin, talk about business a little bit, and your business in particular. Index Solutions has been around for 13 years. So
that's right.
So you've definitely gone through a growth stage, right? You've made it a scary time. And I'm sure there's ups and downs along the way. And AI, we're hearing about it all the time. It's not going away. It's something that's right on the forefront. People are still some people are new to adopting it, but it's basically get on board or you're going to be left behind. So I'm curious, in your space, what role is AI playing in your business and how you provide and serve your clients?
Yes, so we've got to be careful here. AI is an umbrella term, and we must split it up into different parts. So we use two components. There are two important components to AI, and that is the deep learning neural networks, like the chatbots, like ChatGPT that you talk to. These are massive neural networks, and they're trained, and nobody knows exactly how they work. They know how to build them, but how they actually work inside, the internal guts, is difficult to understand. So if it does something weird, you can't go and diagnose it and say, why is this weird thing happening? It's difficult to do this. So what we do use is another branch of AI called machine learning. And machine learning, we've been using machine learning since way back. I used it in radar. I used it in robotics and control systems. And we brought it to finance. There's even a type of classification tree which comes from machine learning, which is using genomics, where you take the genomes of a horse and a cat and a dog, compare them to each other, and then in machine learning you cluster these things and then see, well, a human being is, let's say, 98% the same as a chimpanzee, or we're about 60% the same as a horse. Okay, so that same technology, from machine learning, we're actually using in investment finance to actually select ETFs, and it's quite an interesting show. So that's the type of AI that we're using, artificial intelligence, plus some other decision-making processes which come from way back during my missile guidance era, where we had to compare radar images to known photographs of the terrain and decide where we are and where the target is. Okay, so even that has been used, old-fashioned classical AI. Now, when it comes to modern AI, such as chatbots, anybody who's used a chatbot knows that they need to go and read through what it puts out. And because we're in a mission-critical situation, managers like myself and other managers are not quite ready to trust the output of a chatbot when it comes to investment decisions. Yeah. And we've experimented with this, and we found that it's treacherous terrain. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can end up in a lot of trouble. However, things are changing rapidly. And if you watched Elon Musk's announcement about Grok 4 recently, we're absolutely certain that we're approaching the point where we are going to be using chatbots or chatbot-like technology, deep neural networks, AI as you understand it. AI as you are now going forward using it. we will be using that in investment finance. But it's still quite a road to ensure that we can make completely trustworthy investments. Because remember, we're managing your moms and pops money. Those are the kind of people we don't want to disappoint.
Yeah, I can see how AI wouldn't be, we're relying on the, because in certain businesses, they can rely on AI a lot more. But in the finance space,
Yeah.
especially with investment, we want to rely on your expertise, right?
Yes.
So in your space, I could see where the human is still very much needed. And we
Yes.
definitely want to be, as investors and a new investor for me, I'll just talk about for me and I'll just speak for me, that I wouldn't want to rely on, say, going to ChatGPT or even Grok.
No.
Hey, what should I be investing in today? That would be a
Yes.
no. Yeah.
Imagine you're a lawyer and you relied on Grok or ChatGPT to set up your case,
Right.
and you're in real trouble. And it was you're going to be out on bail if this thing doesn't work out for you. You're not going to rely on ChatGPT. You're going to rely on a human lawyer.
Yeah.
So we're still there, but that's going to change.
Yeah. So, what emerging technologies, let's talk about what's going to change. What emerging technologies do you see playing a major role in your industry, finance, investing over the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, certainly blockchain, especially when it comes to settling of transactions. So blockchain is definitely going to play a role. That's emerging. So we do in South Africa have one particular exchange which is attempting to try and use blockchain and attract investors. I'm not quite sure if that's going to go anywhere just yet. The other technologies are definitely AI, and AI is going to split into different types of components. In other words, research and advisory, where you can make mistakes and you can be vague. That is absolutely essential. I already use that to go and conduct my financial research, to see what the market is about to say, to write my reports, all that drudge work, stuff that we hate doing. Who wants to go and summarize an entire sector of the market? ChatGPT does it really quickly, and it makes mistakes. But because I know what the market's doing, I can see, oh, no, it's talking nonsense over here. So that's quite fun. But otherwise, emerging technologies is just more powerful computers able to run more simulations. Because one of the components we are going to build shortly is we're finding that people, the young crowd, don't want to go to a broker. I mean, when somebody phones you and says they want to sell you some new data package or something like that, you want the conversation to be over in 5 minutes. So who wants to go drive all the way to a broker, sit down with them, waste a whole hour, when you can just go straight to a website and buy a portfolio, start investing. The thing is, you need tools to make the decision. So what we are busy building to deploy next year is a system that will run millions of simulations, millions of futures for your portfolio, and then it's going to figure out what the mean of all those outcomes is. And that's going to be how much you maybe double your money in 10 years, or maybe 1.5 times, maybe you lose some money, I don't know. But it's going to compare all those, and then it's going to take the spread of all those future simulations and then give you the spread. So in other words, you're going to end up there in 10 years, but there's a 10% chance you're going to end up there, or there's a 60% chance you're going to end up this much higher or this much lower, so that investors can make informed decisions before they buy our portfolios. And that's the sort of technology, simulation technology, for which you need a lot of fast computers. And we'll deploy that straight on our website. So that's an example of technology we'll deploy next year.
I love that, because for me, as a newbie, that would be huge, right? That would make me feel much more confident and much more willing to be like, okay, let me do this, because it could be scary as a new person coming in, going, I don't even know where to go, what to invest in. Yeah. So Justin, let's talk about growth now. Like I said before, and what you shared, you've been in business 13 years with this company. You've had a lot of success in other areas.
Yes.
So can you share with us, how are you getting in front, visibility wise, marketing wise, what are you all doing at Index Solutions that are helping you get in front of people like me, or people who you want to be serving, to be helping them invest their money?
So we've always been a bit on the weak side with marketing, because we're strong technical. So somebody like myself is not typically a people person. So I can engage with you nicely for about an hour, but then my brain is tired. I've used up my 3,000 words for the day.
Well, thank you for giving us your 3,000 words today. I appreciate it.
I was very quiet all morning. So basically, we are using AI tools to guide us, and this is a very interesting development for us, to guide us in taking us to a better place in terms of marketing And we've employed another person now to help us with this. And we're hoping to begin a whole lot of new campaigns, which we're going to launch. That's the one prong. The second prong, of course, is going to be, of course, to deploy this simulation technology that I just mentioned for people to go and have a look and see if I want to invest in or deploy that. We have to attract people to that website. And then the third thing is we've been quite successful in looking for new shareholders, and not just shareholders directly to us, but shareholders to our holding company as well, one of our major shareholders. And they are companies who manage unit trusts. And the other company that we attracted interest from, also as a shareholder, is a pension fund management company. And this, we believe, is going to expose us. We need great exposure, and that's always been the thing that we've struggled with, is exposure. But that's changing lately. And I must say, we really did plateau as far as marketing goes during the stagflation era, 2022, and also post-COVID. That was a real struggle. So we did plateau, and that's what's inspired us to get on this bandwagon and market ourselves more heavily and leave all the technical stuff to me and the marketing stuff to other people.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's next for Index Solutions? Like what over the next 12 months, say, what are your big goals for the next 12 months? Where would you see where would you like to see you guys go?
Well, over the next 12 months, an intensive marketing campaign, especially geared towards this new simulation technology as the investment planning tool, which you want to deploy. That's going to be our main focus. I would say that the shareholder giving us exposure, the two shareholders giving us exposure, that's a slightly longer game. It's going to take about another 2 years. So really for us, it's about swelling our assets under management. But our systems are highly scalable. We've got no problem taking on, we could increase our investors by an order of magnitude tomorrow. Then there's one more thing we want to do. We just had the bright idea last week. We're going to start, we found a broker, stockbroker, which gives us access to the US market. And because we've always invested locally in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, this has held us back a bit. Now we're going to build a direct US dollar exposed portfolio, and it's going to be exposed to all 2,700 exchange traded funds, ETFs, in the US market. Now, the technology I've already tested, and it works for that large amount of ETFs, and it literally within seconds distills the whole thing down to a portfolio of only 10 ETFs, which is great. It just takes that difficult decision making. Imagine a US investor going there and saying, well, there's 2,700 ETFs. What do I do? Well, these are the 10 best ones, but we'll package them in a portfolio just for you.
Amazing.
And that's the plan.
I love it. So if I could give you a magic wand, Justin, you've shared with us some challenges and some goals that you have. If I could give you a magic wand and you could go poof on one challenge, one issue you're having right now that might hold you back from achieving your goals, what would that be and why?
Our marketing plans. Our marketing plans. Being the non-marketing person that I am, this problem is about to solve itself. So I think your magic one might be working already, and I feel it coming. And we're pretty certain that this new strategy of ours is going to solve this problem. I must not try to be a marketing person. This is up to other people and the tools that they choose to use. And I think this going to the direct market and building this planning tool is going to give us a leg up. Because once we cross a certain threshold in assets under management, people start looking at you. Because it's very interesting that people will go to a lower performing manager with higher fees just because they're huge. And if we can outperform them and have lower fees, I'm talking about outperforming by a lot, but people are cautious because we're smaller. And that's the problem we're going to have to solve. So if you can wave your magic wand and get people to be less cautious about us, whoosh, there we go.
There we go. We're going to do it. We're going to wave that magic wand. Right. Justin, I'm curious and I love it that you shared, like, listen, your technology, you're the tech person, you know that space. That's your zone of genius. And you're like, marketing's not my thing. And it's okay, right? We're not going to be good at everything. When you're like, this is a gold nugget for those of you listening from Justin here that I'm pulling for me, is that you need to stay in your lane, right? Understand and be clear on what your zone of genius is, and don't try to step into a different arena that may not be, just because you're trying to hold on to a dollar, or you're, because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you more in the end. If you try to move into marketing, then your the tech side of your business is going to start, not working as well because you're not in it. So I think that's an important piece. Like, know your zone of genius, be super clear on it, and bring in the support around the other areas that are their zone of genius. And that's going to make your business thrive faster, grow faster, and be more efficient in the process, right?
Yes. And use tools. We've got wonderful new tools coming, and they're only getting better every year. And get the people who know how to use those tools, and then get on with the stuff that you're good at.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I could bring you back in a year, Justin, and we can revisit this conversation, what does success look like for you?
Success will be to increase our assets under management anywhere between 20 and 30%. That would be absolutely great. I mean, that would be massive for us. We would even happy with 10%, but then we'd have to hope that our other plans are going to kick in, and there was the shareholder plan, etc. So you never just have one plan. That's why we've got the 3 different avenues to swell our assets under management. Otherwise, you never know. One thing might not work out, but the other thing does.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you, Justin. And for those of you listening to us or watching us on YouTube, I just want to say thank you for being here with Justin and I, and make sure you go and check out Index Solutions, which leads me to my next question. Justin, how can people connect with you and learn more about the company?
Yes. So we've got a website. It's www.indexsolutions.co.za. And you can go learn all about us. You can find out how to invest in our portfolios. And unfortunately, I think for your US clients, it would be difficult because at the moment, we're limited to South African investors. However, that might change when we release our US dollar-based portfolio. But otherwise, the iTransact platform, that's iTransact. So it'll be www.itransact.co.za. And they've also got other products besides mine on there as well.
Perfect. So we're going to have all of Justin's contact information on inside, plus social media, all the things inside the show notes. So if you're driving or can't go on the website right now, don't worry about it, but check out make sure you check them out. And like I said, we'll have all of his contact information, but go to Index Solutions and make sure that you connect with them there. If you're listening to or watching us on YouTube, thank you for being here. Please share this episode in Justin and Index Solutions with anyone that you may think could use support on investing. And when's the US one coming out, Justin? So we can prepare for that.
So we're planning that next year. Okay. We're either going to deploy it on the iTransact platform locally, or we're going to deploy it as a thing called an AMC, that's an actively managed certificate, either through somebody like Credit Suisse or Leontech.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to stay tuned for that, and we'll get you that information as they're moving forward in that direction. But go check out Index Solutions. Go connect with Justin. He's an amazing guy, as you've heard. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you're aware. We can notify you when more amazing guests like Justin are coming on the show to share their wisdom with all of you. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, any of those, and you can leave us a review, we'd love it. That helps us share Justin and our guests and all the wisdom that they're bringing to this podcast with more businesses, with more founders, executives, CEOs, and more people like you. We want to see you thrive in both your finances and in your life and in your business. So anything that we can do here to support that, we want to make sure that we're making that happen. I promised y'all a gift, so I'm going to give that to you right now. So if you're looking, Justin shared what's helping them and where they're moving forward or towards in their marketing efforts. If you're looking to grow your visibility and your marketing efforts, and you feel like what you've been doing just isn't working inside of your business, or you're not getting the results that you're looking for, then go ahead and download our Spotlight to Scale blueprint. You can go to spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint and grab it there. Justin, before I let you go and wrap it up, we wrap up our conversation. Is there anything that you'd like to share or say that I didn't get to ask you on, or we didn't touch on today?
Actually, I think we pretty much covered everything. The rest of the stuff is kind of complicated. So I would just like to thank you for being such a professional host.
Thank you for being here and for sharing your time with us today. And your 3,000 words, I appreciate it, because I know I'm an introvert. So I don't know if you're an introvert, but if you're an introvert like me, I know you need to go and get your energy back, because the conversations, so I totally understand where you're coming from. So I appreciate your time and sharing your wisdom and coming on here today. Thank you all for listening. So thank you, Justin. Thank you for listening to Justin and I today. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlights.